Welcome everybody to another episode of Making Feria. My name is Chris Medina. I'm an entrepreneur, and today I have my good friend David Herrero. Thank you so much for taking the time.
No problem.
Inviting us to your beautiful home here. And let's talk about you. Let's tell the audience a little bit about, your background story, how you got started as an entrepreneur.
I'm born and raised in California. My parents are Bolivian from South America, right?
Wow.
So they came to this country, didn't speak any English. And when they came here, it was rough, right? Because they had the worst jobs. So I had to kind of teach myself because they didn't really speak any English, but they were amazing parents. And then I went to college. I got actually a scholarship to go to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo because I was a good soccer player.
Wow.
So my dad didn't speak good English, but he was a very good soccer player, right?
Yeah.
So that helped me out a lot.
Definitely.
And then I went to college, came back, and then I actually went to Bolivia and tried to play soccer professionally.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
And then I got injured, though. I tore tendons in my left ankle.
Okay.
And I couldn't play anymore. So I came back to the States, started working, right? And when I started working, I actually got fired at my first two jobs.
Yeah, and what were those two jobs?
I worked at Robert Half International. It was like a recruiting firm.
Okay, recruiting
right?
for what?
So I was a headhunter for accounting and financial professionals.
Okay.
So people that were looking for jobs, right? I would find them a job.
Yes.
So they would sign up for a company, and I would find like a staff accountant, a bookkeeper, a job at like Disney or Warner Brothers or any company, right? So I was like a salesman.
Yes.
And I did that, and I got fired. It's crazy how I got fired.
Tell us.
I went into the office on a weekend, on a Saturday, right? Because I wanted to make money. I wanted to make more sales.
Yes.
And we always get the leads on Monday every day. All the sales guys would get the leads,
Yes.
right? So I would go in, and on Saturday, no one was supposed to do this. I didn't know that. I went in and got the leads a couple of days before.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, good idea.
Right?
Yeah.
So then I'm ahead of it. So on Monday when they give them to us, I'm already ahead. I already got the leads.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so I did that, and my boss happened to be in on the weekend.
Wow.
He saw what I was doing. Rather than like giving me a warning and saying, hey, you're not supposed to do that, he fired me.
Wow.
So I was just trying to be an aggressive sales guy, take initiative, and I was like, wow,
Definitely.
I'm getting fired for being aggressive and trying to take initiative, right?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And then so that night, I was pissed off. I went out with my friends.
Yeah.
I got drunk, right?
Yeah.
And then I was on the freeway. I got pulled over and got a DUI.
Wow.
And I went to jail.
Yeah. Okay.
So I went to jail. This is a guy, young in his 20s, went to freaking jail, right?
Yeah.
Never been in jail in my life. My first job, got fired, went to jail, right? I'm in jail with all these criminals. I mean, guys with tattoos, gang members,
Yeah.
I'm terrified. I'm some clean-cut guy. I'm in jail. And in jail, guess what? There's no really bathrooms. There's no walls in the bathrooms. They put a toilet,
Yeah.
and everyone could see you shit and piss.
Yeah, that's real stuff, guys. I mean, that's just real life.
Yeah. So you're like scared. You don't know what the hell. You're with all these criminals. You can't sleep. You don't know when you're going to go out because you're scared someone's going to stab you or kill you. So you're pretty much up all night. So that's my first experience on my first job.
Wow.
Getting the DUI, going to jail, being terrified, and now I have to tell my parents, right? And my family and my friends, I went to jail, right? So you kind of do all that. You learn your lessons in life. I got another job, a telecommunications company, got fired as well because I was doing a good job, but I just wanted to do more, and I got fired. And my boss, just didn't have a good relationship. So all these experiences taught me that I need to start my own business, right? So then I started different businesses, right? I was a finance major in college, right? So I wrote a tax ebook. A tax ebook, right? And I don't know much about taxes, but my brother did because my brother was a CPA. So I would pick my brother's brain. I'd go, bro, tell me everything about taxes. And I would just write everything he taught me. And then I tried to sell it online, and it made no money.
Zero money.
Zero money.
Okay.
So I tried that. I tried a website called salsasearch.com.
Salsa search.
Search.com.
Okay.
I was a salsa dancer.
Okay.
Right? I'm Latino, right?
Yeah.
So I know how to dance to reggaeton, salsa. I was passionate about that when I was younger. In my 20s, I was like, I wanted to do salsa dancing, right?
Yeah.
So I go, I'm going to start salsasearch.com. I'm going to build a directory, sell courses and dancing videos. And I did that, and that didn't make any money, right?
Yeah.
So that completely failed. So I kind of tried all these different little businesses, and none of them made any money, right? And then I got introduced. You guys know what multi-level marketing is? MLMs?
Multi-level marketing. No, but tell us a little bit about it. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm interested.
Okay, so multi-level marketings are like, the Avons of the world.
Avons. What are the Avons?
The Avons, like, those pyramid schemes where you got to sign up all your friends and family,
Primerica?
like Prime America.
I was in Primerica
there,
when I was 18.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's an MLM, multi-level marketing.
Okay.
So there you go. Prime America's, you sign up, you get all your friends involved. They have to pay a fee, a monthly subscription, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
They always say the people at the top of the pyramids are the ones that make all the damn money.
Correct,
Right?
yeah.
So I'm like, God, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be in Prime America, but it was called American Communications Network, ACM. But they did the same damn thing as Prime America, right?
Yeah.
So I got involved in that, and I didn't have any money. I was broke, but I had my buddy Tony that knew a lot of people. I'm like, Tony, what can I do? I want to grow my pyramid scheme. I want to grow my network of people. He's all, I know this guy named Gary. I'm like, introduce me to Gary. Right? So I'm all pumped. I'm thinking I'm going to be rich. Because, in Prime America, they sell you the dream.
Yeah.
You're going to be rich. You just got to tell 3 friends. And then they're going to tell 3 friends. And then they're going to tell 3. And then you're going to have a downline of 1,000 people, and you're going to be rich, and you're going to make residual income every month.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, they have an amazing culture in Primerica. It's amazing how they pump you up. They're like, you sign up these guys. Once they start selling, you're going to make a commission off of theirs and so forth.
You get it, right? So I was sold. I'm like, I'm going to become rich as rich, right? I'm going to be amazing. But I was broke, right? I had no money. I'm living at my parents' house. My parents are embarrassed because I've got fired at my last 2 jobs. I went to jail. I'm like the disappointment of the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wasn't doing too good, right? And then, so I'm doing this American Communications Network. My buddy Tony referred me to Gary. I'm all excited. He told me, this guy's got his own immigration law firm. He knows everybody. I'm like, perfect. Yeah. So I'm all prepared. I'm doing my PowerPoint presentation. I put him a new suit on, shoes, dressed really nice. I go to Woodland Hills where his office is at, and it's freaking like 100 degrees that day in the valley. It's hot as hell, right? I'm like, I get to his office, I'm sweating. I meet him, I go into his office, right? And when I go in his office, I start pitching him. He's all, wait, is this like an MLM, like a network marketing pyramid scheme? I'm like, no, it's a telecommunications company. He's all, this is a freaking bullshit pyramid scheme. I go, okay, it's an MLM, you're right?
Yeah.
So he was like not having it. He's like, I'm not interested. So I'm thinking this is going to be it's going to change my life. I'm going to be rich. Doesn't happen.
What were you trying to sell him?
I wanted him to become like an independent rep, just like Prime America. You're trying to sign up people.
Oh, yes.
And I thought this guy was going to have a huge downline and make me rich because this guy was really connected, right?
Correct.
But he said, I'm not interested. But that one relationship, we became friends, right? And he taught me about online marketing. He's all, you need to learn about online marketing. That's how you're going to get your people to sign up for your network marketing thing. You need to learn online marketing. And he taught me some things.
Yes.
And we became friends, right? And then a year later, I started marketing adult websites, right? Because that's what made money, right? What sells? Sex, drugs, and women.
Fun, right?
You're right. And diet, right? So those things sell, right? So I started marketing adult websites, learning how to do it. Obviously, I didn't have adult sites. I was just an affiliate.
Yes.
Do you know what an affiliate is?
A little bit, but for the audience, explain a little bit.
Okay, so an affiliate is an influencer now, right?
Yes.
An affiliate is someone that markets other people's products and services and makes commission. That's what an affiliate is, right?
Yes,
so like, pretty much like Amazon, right? All these people market these Amazon products and they get a commission, right?
Sure, on Amazon, there's a way of like adding yourself as an affiliate, right? And then if you do like a little ad or whatever, a reel with a product, you can add your affiliate link, tell people to buy the product there, and then you get a commission.
That's exactly what it is in a nutshell. And that's what influencers do, right?
Definitely.
On social media, right? If I rep a clothing brand, they pay me a commission for all the sales I bring to that company.
Yeah.
If I market a pair of shoes,
yes,
they pay me, that shoe company pays me a commission. So influencers, affiliate marketing, that's what it is, right?
Yes.
So I became an affiliate for adult websites.
Okay.
They would pay me a commission for everyone I signed up to their platform, right?
Okay.
So I started making money there. It did okay, it didn't do great, but I learned how to market.
Yes.
So that skill that Gary taught me was great.
Yes.
And then I started marketing, I'm going to tell you guys right now,
All right. Tell us.
a dick pill.
Okay. All right. Okay.
A male enhancement pill.
Yes.
Right?
All right, yes.
So, every guy wants to have a bigger you-know-what.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like Viagra, right? Viagra's never going away, and people want to have a bigger you-know-what, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to be PG for the channel.
Definitely. That's all good.
So I started marketing that, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't my product at first. It was a vendor. I was just another affiliate.
Yeah,
Right?
And just real quick, so you would market it how? On social media? Was there social
On
media?
the internet.
How far
So
back
I
was
was just marketing on websites like Yahoo, Google, MSN, just websites, search engines, right?
Okay.
So social media wasn't really big back then, so it was just online, right? Websites.
Correct.
So I learned how to market on these websites, and I started making money, you guys. Like, guess what? On my website, this is funny, you guys. I would have a ruler
Yeah.
on the website, right on the homepage,
Yeah.
and go, hey, you could have it from 2 inches, but if you take my product, it's going to be 6 inches,
Okay.
right? That was my that was like my little marketing gimmick, right?
Little hook,
but
yeah.
I crushed it, right? So I was making great sales,
Yeah.
and this company I was an affiliate with wouldn't pay me more commission. So I was kind of pissed off. I'm like, I'm your biggest guy. Like I'm doing huge volume.
Yeah.
And they were greedy and they wouldn't pay me more commission. And then I told Gary, I go, Gary, try marketing this product, right? And he's all, no, he wouldn't do it. And then I told these guys that wouldn't pay me more money, I go, I'm going to start my own freaking product. Screw you, right?
Yeah.
So then I started my own male enhancement product, my own dick pill.
Okay. So it's
Okay.
like
So now,
you got a product and then you kind of like white label it into your brand?
yeah. So I white labeled it into my brand. So I was the owner of the brand now. I wasn't going through an affiliate. So now I had to get my own merchant account. I had to have my own website, my own customer service. So I had my own small little business, my own product, right? And it was doing great. And then I called Gary and I go, now I have my product. He's all, no, dude, I don't want to. He's an immigration law firm. Dude, I'm not going to market a dick pill. I'm not interested. I go, bro, this stuff makes money. Trust me. Okay?
Yeah.
He sent out, he's all, okay, I'll do it for you, man. And one weekend, he sent out to his email list, he made $60,000 in one day.
Wow.
And this was a long time ago, right? So
Yeah.
$60,000 back then is like doing like $500,000 or $1 million a day in sales today.
Wow.
Right?
Wow, yeah.
So it was like shitload of money.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, $60,000 a day is still a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
But just imagine back then, it was,
Back then it was way more.
right? So he crushed it, and then he called me. He's all, David, we're going to become business partners.
Okay.
And then we became business partners, and then I created probably over 100 different supplements and skincare products. So male enhancement, skincare, anti-aging, you name it.
Yeah.
Muscle products, protein products. We created over 100 SKUs, right?
Yeah.
And then we did over $300 million in e-commerce sales
Wow.
with supplements.
300 million.
300
Guys, that's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, we did.
Amazing.
We did some crazy volume, right?
Yeah.
We didn't do $300 million in a year, but we did it over about a 10-year period.
Yeah, that's
still
good.
still a lot of money,
Amazing.
right? So we did some crazy numbers, right? And we were running businesses and doing e-commerce. So that's all that money is what started all my other businesses, right? So I became really good at e-commerce, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, I started a call center business, because when you're marketing fulfillment, right, and when you're doing e-commerce,
Yeah.
you're going to have all these sales come in, and people need to deal with the customer service.
Correct.
The email, the phone support, the chat support, right?
Yeah.
So I had all these agents. I had a huge team, and I was like, other people were like, David, could I use your customer service? Because we were really good. And that turned into a business.
Yeah.
So then I started a call center business, and now I have over 500 agents, and I have a call center business now, right?
Okay.
So we do email, chat support, phone support. We're doing AI chatbots now.
So this call center is for your products, or
Now it's for everybody. Before it was just for my products,
Yeah.
right? And then it turned into its own business. Now I do customer service, Ty Lopez and all his brands.
Yeah.
We did all his customer services, outbound sales for all his different brands, like big companies, right?
Yes.
And we've done it for monster companies. We do their customer service, email support, chat support, AI support, you name it.
Okay.
So my e-commerce business veered into that. So I still have my e-commerce business, of course.
Yes.
But then with that money I made there, we started that business.
So you offer your customer service call center for big companies that need help with that?
Yeah, or small companies now, right? So now if you're an influencer,
Yes.
let's say you have a hearing aid company.
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Let's say you have a hearing aid business, right?
Yes.
And you need customer support, right?
Yeah.
You would contact us. We would set you up because guess what? You're losing sales when you don't respond to a customer. Do you guys know who Neil Patel is? Anyone know who Neil Patel is?
Yes.
Neil Patel is super sharp.
Oh,
Guys,
yeah.
this guy, he is known as the Google SEO genius, right?
Correct.
And he makes a ton of money, right?
Yes.
And I was on one of his threads and one of his posts. He mentioned because he has all the analytics and all the stats. If you don't respond to your customer within 5 minutes, you're losing. That cuts your conversions by 800%.
800.
800%.
That's not even like 100.
No,
8x, 100%.
8x, right?
Yeah.
So in other words, customer support is huge, right? If you have a lead and they ask a question and you don't respond to them until the next day, 2 hours later, an hour later, they're gone. They're already looking at your competitor.
True. That's
right?
very true.
And so that's what I tell my clients. I go, let us do your email support, your chat support, your phone support, your AI chatbots. Let's increase your sales. So when someone comes to your hearing aid site and you don't respond, it's the weekend, you guys are closed, and someone sent you a message on Saturday and Sunday, those people are long gone.
They're gone,
Those 20, 30 people that responded, that sent you guys a message on Saturday and Sunday, you just lost 20, 30 sales.
Definitely.
Right?
Now with the new modern style, like, do you guys work with Facebook Messenger, Instagram,
100%,
everything? So you guys respond to
We
everything?
respond to all the platforms, right? And we have AI chatbots, we have humans,
Yeah.
we do everything. And we do phone sales, we do phone customer support. So that turned into that. And that's what's helped scale my businesses, right? Because at first, no one had this, right?
Definitely.
It was just people like, oh, we work 8 to 5 and we're closed. We're like, hell no, we're going to be open 24/7, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Because guess what? The internet doesn't sleep, does it, you guys?
No.
It's open all day, right? And customers buy at night, they buy on the weekends. So you want to monetize all that data that comes in, right? If you're not monetizing those leads, you're leaving a shitload of money on the table, right?
Definitely.
So that's why this call center business blew up for us, because it's so critical for any e-commerce business to have customer service.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's only tailored to e-commerce, or?
Not anybody. I'll do customer
Any
service,
business, right?
a brick and mortar business, e-commerce. Most of our clients are e-commerce, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where I have a lot of my relationships, right?
Definitely.
But it could be for any brick and mortar business.
Yeah.
Right?
Like you said, for like hearing aids, like for me, I'm a hearing aid specialist. I have my brick and mortar business. And sometimes I run Facebook ads, and my team is okay. I got my receptionist, my front office people, and I try to get them to do that. But, if I had maybe something like what you offer, then, it'd be more consistent and faster, right?
And does your employee work 7 days a week?
No,
Okay.
correct.
And are they open 24/7? Is your location open 24/7?
No, it would just be from 8 to 5, let's say. Yeah. So
That's only, you're losing 16 hours a day,
correct.
7 days a week.
No, definitely.
Look how many more sales you could be making. And you're running ads. So you're crazy. Your ad spend, your CPA is, let's say, $100 a CPA. By being open 7 days a week, your CPA might go down to like 40.
What is CPA? So for people who don't know that.
Cost per acquisition, right?
Okay.
What it costs you to acquire a customer,
Yes.
right? So when you're running Facebook ads on Instagram or YouTube or Google, it costs an X amount of dollars to acquire that customer, to turn that lead into a customer, right? So when you're running a business, you really need to know that data, right? So if you're running ads and it's costing you $100 to acquire a customer because you're only open 5 days a week, what if you're open 7 days a week and now that cost goes to 40? Now you're making an extra $60 per lead that comes in the door, which is huge.
Definitely.
That could turn your business from making a 6-figure business to a 7-figure business, just like that.
Just like that.
Right? So that's why that business scaled and grew, our call center business, right?
Yeah.
And in e-commerce, when you buy something on Amazon, don't you need someone to ship it?
Yes.
So guess what I started? I started a fulfillment business.
Oh, okay. So
Right?
It's called fulfillment.
Fulfillment, shipping fulfillments, right? So Amazon has all these warehouses around the world. And that's why when you buy something on Amazon, you get your product in 2 or 3 days.
Yes.
And customers love that. They're addicted to it, right?
Yeah.
So I did so much volume. We're doing a few thousand sales every day. I had a huge warehouse already, right? I'm like, I'm going to start doing fulfillment for other companies, just like I did the call center business.
Yeah.
I was already doing fulfillment for my products because I was doing such big volume.
Definitely.
So I started getting clients. I go, hey, I'll warehouse your products and I'll ship your products. So let's say you have a hearing aid product.
Yeah.
We'd warehouse all your hearing aid products in our fulfillment center.
Yeah.
And then when someone buys something online, you would post us that order and then we'd ship it to your customers.
Yeah.
That's what Amazon does.
Definitely.
Right? So we do the same thing that Amazon does for all of our clients.
Yeah.
So that's how, and then I started, it's called Rapid Fulfillment. So I started Rapid Phone Center and then Rapid Fulfillment. So now we have a location in Pacoima here.
Yes.
Pacoima, California in the Valley. I don't know if you know where that is.
Yes.
But that's where our California, and we have another location in London and Australia. So we have 3 fulfillment locations that cover the globe.
Yeah, and why Australia and what was the other one?
Because we want in London.
London.
So we want to cover the 27 countries in the EU. That's from our London facility. Because when you buy something, don't you want the product quick?
Yes.
Right? So if we ship out of London, it covers the 27 countries in the EU quickly, so the customers get the product in 2 or 3 days.
Yes.
Just like Amazon, right?
Correct.
If we shipped it from Pacoima, California, it's got to go through taxes, duties, customs. Customer might not get the product for 14 to 21 days. How good of a customer experience is that for you?
Yeah.
It's not good, right? So if we have clients that do a lot of volume in the EU, we ship out of London. Australia covers all Asia, right? Okay. And then US covers all the other countries.
Yes.
So we ship to 217 countries around the world for a fulfillment company. Okay. So pretty much we cover the globe.
All right.
Right?
Excellent.
So we started that business, and that business blew because e-commerce is only getting bigger, right?
Yeah.
Is e-commerce going to go away, you guys?
It's not. I mean, I don't even go grocery shopping anymore. Like I order everything through Instacart. I order all my stuff through Amazon. I don't even want to go anywhere. I'd rather use that time to be with my family, work in my business, and you get the point, right?
Right.
You guys get the point.
Yeah. So that's why we started that business, and that business was growing every month, right? It's doing great. So because e-commerce isn't going away.
Yes.
And I just got back from a trade show. I was it's called Affiliate Summit West, right?
Yes.
And in this trade show, you guys, I had my Rapid Phone Center there. I had my Rapid Fulfillment. I also own a shipping insurance business. So I had 3 booths there. I had my team go, my employees go out. Why? Because we want to get more business,
Definitely,
right?
yeah.
And this is why you go to trade shows, and that's how you grow. You can't just do social media marketing. You can't just do online marketing. You got to do the brick and mortar stuff, right?
Yeah,
you got to go to the trade shows. You got to go to masterminds. You got to go to conferences, and that's how you get clients.
Network, and like they say, your network is your net worth, right?
100%. Yeah. So those are just a couple. And I own a lot of companies. I'll bore you if I tell you all the other businesses I started. But those are like e-commerce, fulfillment, phone center. Yeah. I own a shipping insurance business. I own a lot of real estate. I know you own real estate as well. And just, I invested in cannabis.
Yeah.
And you guys, I've never even done cannabis in my life.
You just know it's a good product, right? It's moving.
It moves, right? And I own the real estate. So to me, I own the real estate and I own the license. So I make money every month. It's a cash flow business, right?
Yes.
But I'm not in the day-to-day operations, right? But
yeah. Okay.
Things like that. As you start making money, with all the money you make, you start other businesses and you invest.
Real estate is a big field, right? So what's your niche in real estate?
It's funny that you say that because when I first started, it was all single-family homes. I bought 16 real estate properties in Arizona.
Okay.
Right?
Out of Arizona.
Yeah. Pretty much Avondale.
Avondale. Okay.
Yeah. And we bought a ton of real estate there because we knew they were going to build a stadium there, right?
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, okay, it's Scottsdale. It's right there. It's up and coming, right? Mm-hmm. So I bought a lot of property there back in the day, and then I bought a lot of property in Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, right?
Okay.
So and Frisco, Dallas, Frisco, Texas, right? Okay. So we bought real estate there, and just so you guys know, most of these properties I never even saw them. Okay. I bought them. I pretty much got them. I was here in LA. I saw the website online and just bought them. I didn't even actually go see the properties, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we were just buying properties in Texas, buying properties in Arizona, and I didn't even see the properties, right?
So single-family homes.
Single-family homes to rent out.
To rent out, okay.
Right? So I did a lot of those, right? Yeah. And then we sold them when the market was at the top. Yeah. And we just like, hey, let's cash out, right?
Yeah.
And then I bought I bought a couple commercial buildings. Okay. So I have my corporate office in Studio City. It's I think 13,000 square feet. Wow. And it's, it's a big one. Employees there. And then I've bought in a lot of industrial buildings for cannabis.
Okay.
And those, I crushed it, right? And because I bought it at a great time, the market went crazy, and I owned the licenses, right? So I owned the land, the building, the license. That was a great investment, right? I've 3x to my money at least.
Okay, and this cannabis, it's like creams and stuff like that?
It's cultivation.
Cultivation, okay.
So I have people that, grow there,
Yeah.
and I make money. It's cash flowing, right?
Definitely.
So you kind of transition, right? And now I'm more bigger picture. Now if I want to get into like apartment buildings, I just got to find a good apartment building that's a good investment.
Yeah.
But I think real estate, you can never go wrong with real estate. And the reason I was buying all this real estate, because I was making so much money, I didn't want to pay that much in taxes. So I'm like, I need to buy something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know how they say about Grant Cardone, he's buying like private jets, and I was buying homes, right?
Yeah, because you accumulate all this capital, and then you're like, if I take it on to the next year, Uncle Sam's going to take 1/3 of it, right? So you might as well invest it and get that tax write-off.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing. We were making so much money. We're just buying a ton of real estate, and now I buy industrial buildings for cannabis, but I want to buy, apartments. That's my next venture.
Yeah, I'm looking into that too. Right now, I have an apartment in Phoenix. It's a little triplex, but yeah, the bigger you go, obviously, the less risk, right? So
Yeah.
So David, you got all these businesses growing. You're crushing it, like you say, which is amazing. I salute you for that. So you got the e-com business, you got the call center business, you got real estate. So through all that journey that you went through, what were the biggest challenges that you had to go through?
Great question. Challenges, you guys, one thing I've learned is nothing lasts forever.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're going to learn that the hard way, like I did, right? So when you're making money and things are going great, you're like, oh, this is always going to keep on working, right?
Yes.
Whatever business you're in, when you have sales coming in, you think that sales channel is never going to dry up, right? But guess what? It does.
Yeah.
One major challenge I had was I was really good at email marketing. And I was making all my money with email marketing.
Yeah.
And I got greedy, right? I'm like, oh, okay, it's gonna keep on crushing it. So I bought this property in Burbank, beautiful property, and I put all this money in to remodel it, right? I bought a yacht. I bought a huge yacht. I docked it in Marina del Rey. I bought a Phantom, Rolls Royce, Maserati, all these different cars, right? Mercedes. I'm just all these toys. Houses, yachts, right? I'm making all this money. And then my email source where I was making all my money, I had no money coming in from any other source. Canned spam, this law came in and they said you can't email spam people anymore.
Wow.
And I was like, shit, or you're going to go to jail, right? And there was every email that they cat was going to be a $10,000 fine. And I was sending millions of emails a month. So, I mean, obviously 10,000 times a million, no one has that money, right? Right? So either go to jail or pay the fine, which I can't afford the fine, right? So I couldn't email anymore. So I had all these expenses coming in, mortgage, rent, yacht, car payments, all these, and I had no money coming in.
Wow.
Because I got greedy. I thought, oh, this email funnel is going to keep on making me money, right?
Correct, yeah.
So I learned the hard way, and I was getting ready to lose all that. Right?
Yeah.
And then I had to adapt, right? I was gonna go back, move in with my parents, right?
Wow, after all that?
All that, right? Because I over leveraged. You know when people over leverage, you buy too much and you can't afford it, right?
Correct,
That's like the society nowadays, right? You spend more than you have, right?
Yeah.
And I kept on thinking, oh, this money's gonna keep on coming in. So that was a lesson to me, and I had to adapt, right?
Yeah.
So now I was like, I got to learn another way of making money. So then I learned other ways of marketing online because I was an online guy, and I learned how to do pay-per-click advertising, right?
Pay-per-click.
That's called PPC, right?
Yes.
We're Google, right? They charge you per click.
Yes.
And I got really good at that. I just focused. I got to learn Google, and I just put all my time into that. And then I finally learned. It took some time. Then I started making money again. And I was like, oh. Thank God, right? But you learn in business that you can't put all your eggs in one basket because that basket might end one day.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what you're going to learn. That's one of the major things I learned in life and in business. Don't ever put all your business in one traffic source and one way of generating sales. You got to generate sales in all different aspects.
Definitely.
So that was kind of like my life lesson of I'm never going to let this crap happen to me again. You know?
Definitely. Okay. All right, David. So awesome. You've already opened up all these businesses. You gave us a little bit of background of how you went through those struggles and adapted. Now, in the business, all these businesses that you opened, how can you give us a little advice on how you started and created your operation systems and processes?
Every business is different, you guys, right? So every business has different challenges and operations. I'll give you a great story, actually. I start another business I didn't even mention yet. I own a landscaping business called Shrub Hub, right?
Yes.
It does crazy volume.
Shrub Hub.
Shrub Hub. We're the largest landscaping design company in the world, right?
Wow.
We're the biggest. And we're the only ones that do e-commerce worldwide for landscaping. Most landscape design companies just do it like in a particular region, right?
Yes.
They do it in
Los Angeles.
Whatever, San Diego, right?
Correct.
And there's a couple online companies, but the online companies they can't do it international. They could only do it there's a couple companies that do it nationwide, but they do about 1/100th of the volume we do, right? We do crazy numbers, right?
So what do you sell in this e-commerce landscaping
So it's a landscaping design company.
Design.
It's design. So let's say you have a home and you want your backyard and front yard to look nice, right?
Yeah.
You need someone to design it.
Yes.
And people hire local designers, like an interior designer. But
Yeah.
think of interior designer for the outside of your home,
Yes.
right? And these people charge, the brick and mortar companies charge, I don't know, $2,000 to $5,000 for a landscape design.
Yeah.
I've automated the whole process. I built technology and processes.
Yeah.
Because you asked me the question about processes, right?
Yes.
I've automated this whole thing, so I could charge customers less than $300 when the market is charging everyone $2,000 to $6,000, right?
True.
So if you're a customer and you could get the same exact product and service for $300 rather than paying $2,000 to $6,000, who are you going to go to? You're going to come to me. You're going to come to Shrub Up, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we kind of took over the market. We're the biggest in the market. We're the Amazon of this space, right?
Yeah.
And it's about processes, right? So during COVID, right, everyone was at home,
Yes.
right? So what were they doing? They were seeing their crappy backyard every day. They were seeing their crappy front yard, and they're like, if I'm going to work from home because I can't go to the office, I want to at least work in a nice place.
Have a nice little view.
I want to have a nice view of my backyard, front yard. I'm going to be working from home now.
Yeah.
Right. Our business blew up. Right. We
During
went.
the pandemic.
Yeah. I had to hire 200 employees in like 90 days. That's how fast we were growing. Right. So we were just. It was like that. I was working pretty much. I was sleeping 3 hours and working 21. Like
That's insane.
I wasn't sleeping. We were doing such crazy volume and numbers, right? Which was great, right?
Yeah.
But then I had to put processes in place. That comes to this question, right?
Correct.
So I had to, besides automating the 3D software for designs, I had to automate staff, right? Employees. I had to put processes in place for our designers, processes in place for our account managers, processes in place for accounting, processes in place for sales, right? So we had to build a CRM to automate all these processes so we could run and scale. Right?
Did you have to hire somebody to help you build those?
My tech. So I have a big tech team.
Yes.
So I had tech. Unfortunately, I'm like the visionary, right? So I kind of come up with the vision and I lay it out and I go tech, build, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's most entrepreneurs, right? And you're the visionary, right? So I have the vision. I'm like, this is what I need automated. This is what I need built. Please get it done, right?
Yes.
And then I have the tech guys to do it. But it's all about processes, right?
Yes.
I couldn't do the crazy volume we do if I didn't have processes in place, right? And it's not just automating the software, the 3D software, the design. It's automating the database, right?
Yeah.
Automating my marketing channel funnels, because process. Yeah, you want to provide a good service, but I also need sales coming in, right?
Definitely.
Because I could have the most amazing processes in the planet, but if I don't have sales coming in, it doesn't really matter.
So for the upcoming aspiring entrepreneurs, obviously, your focus first was bringing in the sales and growing your capital, and then eventually hiring the team, which you kind of already had, but obviously you have to hire that team to do it for you.
Yeah.
Because you're the visionary, you put, all right, I wanted this, this, and this, but they're going to actually document everything.
Yep.
So, okay.
Yeah, so I tell people you need to start with marketing, number one. Because who cares if you have the most amazing processes if no one's buying your product or service?
Correct.
It doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
Having a process problem is a good problem, right?
Yes.
That Shrub Hub problem was a great problem. We're doing crazy numbers, and I had to solve the process problem, right?
Yeah.
But I needed to have those sales come in first, right? So
Correct.
I always tell every entrepreneur, marketing is number one. Number two is your processes, right? Because who cares if you have processes if you don't have sales? Right?
Yeah,
You have your hearing aid business, right?
Correct.
You could have the most amazing hearing aid product in the world. You could put the hearing aid, and now everyone could hear perfectly, right?
Yes.
And oh my God, right?
Yeah.
But if no one knows about your product, who cares if you have the most amazing hearing product?
No one's going to
Who
buy
gives
it.
a crap?
Exactly.
Right?
So marketing, sales, and then processes, right?
Yes, that's how it has to be. Because guess what? When you have marketing coming in, sales come in, guess what? That means you have money. That means you could afford processes. That means you could afford tech. You could afford softwares. You could afford CRMs, right? You could go, I got the money, and now I'm going to put it into processes. Get all the processing right, and now, boom, processes are good. Put more money on the marketing and the fire, right?
Yeah.
Right? More oil on the fire, so it burns more, right? So that's how I tell every entrepreneur, starts with marketing, sales, and then processes.
Yeah.
Right?
Very true.
And if you go the other way around, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
Yesterday is a great example. I get pitched a lot of, I'm an investor, right?
Yes.
I own a lot of companies. I get pitched, like Shrubba I got pitched that. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's a good investment. And I invested in it, and I became, an investor in that business, right?
Correct.
Yesterday, I got pitched another business,
Yeah.
which was a fitness business,
Yes.
right? There's tons of fitness businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So number one question is, what's different from your business than somebody else's, right?
Yes.
If your business is the same as everyone else, I'm not really that interested. And then my number two question is, how the hell are you going to make sales?
Correct.
Tell me about your marketing strategy. Who do you have running your marketing campaign? Who's your CMO, I guess, right? Who's the guy that's going to generate the sales? And when I asked him that question, he's all, well, I have some good influencers. I'm like, okay, that'll get you a few sales through the door, but who's like your guy that has experience in crushing and doing online marketing? He didn't have anybody.
Running the ads.
Right? And if you don't have someone that's good at marketing, I don't care what product or service you have. It's not going to make a lot. It's never going to make a lot of money,
Okay.
right? You want to have a good product, right? And then you want to make your product unique, right? Because if I have hearing aids like you do, right, and I have the same exact hearing aids you do, why are people? We're just going to be fighting for that same customer. And we're both going to lose because now our cost of acquiring a customer is going to go up because we're both fighting for that same customer.
Correct.
Right?
Demand's going to go down a little bit. Yeah.
You get it, right?
Yeah.
It's simple supply and demand, right?
Yes.
So whatever product or service you're selling, you guys, make sure it's a little unique, right?
Yeah.
It needs to be a little different than the competitor or you're both going to lose. And the only person that's going to win is the guy that has the bigger marketing budget because they're just going to outbid you on everything and take all the customers if you have the same exact product or service.
Yeah. So put it all into marketing, get known, and then execute on
With the processes.
Sales, and then processes obviously later down the road.
Yeah.
Once you have enough
Yeah.
capital to invest and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to get that first, obviously it doesn't make sense. You're gonna, you're not gonna have enough money to keep flowing if you're gonna invest a lot into, the systems and processes first. So, David, you had all these ups and downs, for new entrepreneurs. What would you say are your highest and best keys to success?
Keys to success, I would say number one is most people give up. They're not consistent, right?
Yes.
And that's the most important thing in business, you guys, in life. You just got to show up every day. I tell people, if you just show up and work every day, you're going to become successful eventually.
Yes.
It might take a little longer because some people are a little slower than others. Hey,
Yeah.
I can't help it if you're a little slow, right?
Yeah.
Some people are a little slower, right? Some people are sharper, right? So
Yes.
they pick things up quicker, right? But it depends where you're at. But as long as you stay consistent every day, you're going to be successful whatever you do.
Okay. Consistency, showing up, discipline.
All those
that
key
good
things
stuff.
are the most important thing, but it's what happens with most people. This is funny, right? I get this all the time. Dave, I started this business and I didn't make any money. And I find out that they did it for like a month.
Yeah, guys.
I'm like, wait, you started a business for a month and people give up, right?
Yeah.
And they give up before they're going to succeed. Because I have businesses that didn't make money for like 12 months, right? A year of losing money, but I had that like inside me. I go, I know I'm going to get there.
Yes.
I know I'm going to get there. And I kept on putting time in every day. And then finally, it made money, right?
Yeah.
And people give up after 30 days, 60 days. Most businesses don't make money until like 6, 12 months, right?
Correct, yeah.
And I just laugh when people say, oh, I started a business, but it failed. I go, well, how long did you do it for? Tell me what you did. And right when I hear their story, I'm like, dude, I would have done that in my first week. Yeah. Like you barely put any time into the business.
Yeah.
You know, of course you failed, you know?
Definitely.
So I think it's like, it's funny. Another thing by Neil Patel.
Yes.
I heard, he said, I don't know if it was, I think it was Neil Patel, but high school students, it's like, I think the number was like 82% of high school students think they're going to be a millionaire by the age of 22.
Wow. That's just unreal.
Like, I mean, they're like delusional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be like 0.0001%, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard, you guys, to become a millionaire. I was a millionaire in my 20s. I'm very fortunate, right? But I worked my ass off. And I lost a lot of money before I became a millionaire. And I failed at like 5 different businesses before I became a millionaire, right?
Correct.
So it was trial and error. And that's what people don't realize. It's like, you're going to fail before you succeed.
Yes.
And that's just, and people don't get that.
Yeah, that's true. And then I see a lot of people that just don't even start. So you got to start, show up, work your way up. You know, for example, for me, my first year in business selling hearing aids, this was back when 2015, you know, I had a little office in this big plaza, had 0 walking traffic. You know, I had to go out and meet doctors, got to go do events, and then, you know, market myself on this little local magazine. And that first year, I only made $37,000.
Well,
you know?
You know why it was hard for you to make money?
How?
Because
Why?
the people couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
Because of the hearing aid products, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They
couldn't hear you. That's a tough business to start, right?
You gotta be
You're trying to
heard.
market to people that can't hear you.
That's true.
You better do like sign language.
That's true. And later down the road, you know, I started making videos with subtitles. You know,
Right?
people used to tell me, like, you're advertising for hearing loss and you're not even putting subtitles on this.
Right.
No.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, that's a tough market, right? You got to put
Exactly.
subtitles, sign language, you know?
Correct.
But that's a tough business to start. But you learn through trial and error, right? Like,
Trial and error,
You're like,
yes.
you didn't know to put subtitles. Like, but now with your experience, you
Yeah.
know, right?
Yes.
But when you were young, I'm sorry, I call us young and dumb.
Yeah.
When we're all, I don't care who you are, when you're young and dumb,
Yeah.
you don't know what the hell you're doing. And it's not because you're dumb, it's because you're young.
And inexperienced.
And young comes with dumb.
yeah. That's
For all
true.
you youngsters, don't worry. I'm sorry for offending you, but you're dumb. And you're going to, as you get a mentor, you get experience, you're not going to be dumb anymore. Then you're going to become an entrepreneur. And then
Yep.
you're going to become a businessman. And then you're going to become wealthy. And then you're going to become a millionaire, right? But it takes time.
Time, trial, error, get
Yeah.
educated, show up, consistency, discipline,
Yeah.
all that great stuff.
100%.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done in business?
I got a lot of those.
Yeah, what's the
I
craziest?
got a lot of those.
Definitely.
Some I can't say on camera.
Okay, all right.
I don't want a lawsuit. I don't want an attorney knocking on my door tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
no,
a couple of them I'm not going to say because, you know, when you're young and dumb,
Yeah.
you do some crazy things. And sometimes you do some gray things, right?
Yeah.
When you're young, you're doing some gray things, some aggressive things, right? So
Yeah.
some of these things I'm not going to mention, but sometimes you got to do some aggressive things to make sales, right?
Yes.
But a funny story was kind of real estate related. I was in Sweden partying at a nightclub
Yeah.
with my buddies. We travel there. I'm doing bottle service in a nightclub.
Yeah.
And my real estate broker texted me. He's all, David, that property you've wanted, it's available now.
Wow.
I'm in a nightclub. I go to the bathroom, and this is like multi-million-dollar offer. I'm drunk, drinking champagne in the bathroom, doing a DocuSign agreement real estate, and I go, close this shit today. I want that goddamn, I'll overpay because it was a great value,
Wow,
right?
yeah.
I'm doing a DocuSign at a nightclub in Sweden, partying my ass off, drunk as hell, and I'm buying millions of dollars worth of real estate.
Wow.
Right? Multi-million-dollar real estate properties.
Yeah.
And I'm like, buy them, and I want the other, because there's a couple properties on the same block. I go, buy them all.
Buy 'em all.
I want them all, right? I go, before people know about it, I go, put the offer, it's contingent, they need to sign today.
Yeah.
I go, I want this, I don't want to get in a bidding war, I'm going to overbid, but I want it now, right?
Yes.
And I'm drunk saying this like, because I'm drunk, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, I want them all. And my agents, are you sure? You said a little drunk. I'm like, don't worry about it, buy them all, you know? And then, so I'm docu-signing buying, and I bought those properties. And I made a shitload of money on those. So that's like a crazy story. So in other words, you guys, the rule is you could be drunk, intoxicated, in a country with girls surrounding you at a nightclub and still buy $1 million properties.
Definitely.
And make millions of dollars because of it.
Yeah. But definitely with all the experience you got too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I knew, but I was drunk and docu-sign, and and I'm telling them, buy them all, buy both of them, buy 3, you know.
Just buy the whole block.
Yeah, you know, and I was just, you
Cool.
know, it's just crazy story, but it was the truth that it was just like crazy how that just happened when I was at a nightclub.
Definitely.
Right?
And what were those properties for?
These were actually industrial buildings in Long Beach, and they
Okay.
were both within the same block.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was a strategic buy because they were going to come. They were in the zone for cannabis. And cannabis, you can't just buy real estate and start a cultivation or a retail store. You got to buy in a particular zoned area. Just like when you buy real estate, right? There's industrial zones, commercial zones. So there's a cannabis zone.
Yeah.
And I've been looking for these for a while. And I was like, nothing's up, nothing's on the market. And these came up. My broker knew the guy that was selling them. I'm like, I don't want to begin the bidding war because I know it's going to go crazy. I'm going to overbid a little bit, but I want them all. Buy them all.
Yeah.
And he bought them. I was drunk, but I ended up, it was a great business decision, right? So the lesson is, you guys, you can be drunk, intoxicated, girls surrounding you, beautiful girls with white blonde hair, drinking champagne, and you could still make millions of dollars.
Definitely.
In another country.
Amazing.
So that's one of my wild stories. I have other ones, but I can't say.
Okay.
Because I got, but that was a pretty crazy wild one.
Definitely. That's a real good one. Good one. Cool. So David, I also want to ask you, you mentioned mentorships. How important and critical do you think mentorship is for a early upcoming entrepreneur?
Great question. And this question has cost me hundreds of millions of dollars.
Wow.
Hundreds of millions, not millions, hundreds of millions, right? Because
Yes.
I was that dumb kid that said, I'm going to do everything on my own. I don't need mentors. I could do it on my own, right?
Yeah.
I was that stubborn kid that never took advice from mentors, that tried to do everything on his own. Like, I don't need to talk to this guy and this guy. I don't know. I don't need to meet him. I'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Which cost me probably 10, 15 years of trial and error, right?
Wow.
If I would have went straight to a mentor when I was young and learned from people that were much more successful than me and smarter than me and people that have already done it, shit, I might be fucking Mark Zuckerberg right now. I might be Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest, like, because I had the brains, I had the work ethic, I had the talent.
Yes.
I just tried to do everything on my own, which took me 15 years longer, 10 years longer, right?
Yes.
And that was dumb. And
Okay.
now, because I've gotten smarter, now I talk to smarter people than me.
Yeah.
I talk to people that are more successful, and I learn. I go on YouTube, I go on TikTok, I read articles. I just, you learn from other successful people. I network, right? I ask questions, right? But
Yes.
when I was young, I didn't do that. And that's what mentorship is so critical in business, right?
Yes.
And now I tell everyone, learn from smarter people.
Yeah.
Don't do what I did. I didn't fast track my success. I slow tracked it. I'm very fortunate I did very well. But shit, who knows where I would be right now? I'd be worth at least an extra $100 million more than I am now.
Wow.
100%.
Amazing.
Right? So that's what you got to do. You definitely use mentors, use coaching courses. All these things are good. Just make sure the person's reliable, right?
Yes.
There's so many coaching courses and people are fake gurus, but as long as you get mentored by the right people that have experience and success,
Correct.
do it.
Yeah, definitely. And now when someone's looking for a mentor, obviously you don't want to have a bunch of different ones because all their information is going to contradict each other, right? I mean, would you agree to a certain
I
extent?
disagree with you.
Okay, all right.
Because I think in business, it's good to get different points of view.
Okay.
Right? Like you've learned a little bit from Albert Preciado. You got
Yes.
his point of view.
Correct.
Right? You should get another one or two because you need different people's point of views. Right?
True.
Because everyone has different experiences, right? I have a lot of experience in the e-com world.
Okay.
Right? but maybe I don't have a lot of experience in the mentorship world or a lot of experience in the retail world. Let's say getting products in retail in Costco and Walmart and Rite Aid and all those stores, right?
Yeah.
So you learn, everyone has different experiences and different background, and it only takes one nugget, right? So if you learn one nugget from one guy, one nugget from another mentor, I could learn one nugget from you today. That might change my life. Like, oh, I didn't learn the hearing aid. Wow, that's going to help my other business. Oh, how you get customers. Oh my God. I might learn one way how you get customers for hearing aid that I could apply to my skincare business, right? Which is completely different verticals.
Yeah.
But something that you're doing, I was like, oh, it's a great idea. I could apply that to my business, right?
Yeah.
So that's what people don't understand. I could learn something from my cleaning lady that comes tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I could learn from my pool guy. So I think getting different perspectives is a good thing, right?
Okay.
And it's your job as an individual to absorb that content and see which guy's full of shit and which guy knows what he's talking about.
Definitely.
And so that's why I have to disagree with you. I think getting different points of view is a good thing.
That's true. That's really eye-opening. You want to grab, that's true. That's what I was actually going to say. You want to grab these gold nuggets from, different people, right? And then put them to use, try them out, test. That's what business comes down to, test and trial, right? And see what works. And I guess you're definitely right on that.
Yeah, I just think you guys in business, it's like you said, you just nailed it, right? You got to split test, right? You go to one coach, another coach. You don't need to do 100 coaches, right?
Yeah.
But you do a few coaches and you learn a nugget from each one. And then afterwards, you're going to go, wow, I learned a lot more from this one. I'm going to spend more time studying him, right? I didn't learn too much from this coach or from this mentor. His value wasn't that good. So then guess what? Then you're going to know, you've learned, and now you know not to spend money on these mentors and to spend it on the one that actually taught you something.
That gives you value.
Cool,
David. So I know you started Growth Talks. Is that what it's called, right?
Yep.
So these are masterminds. So for these new entrepreneurs or somebody who would just want to start their own little tiny mastermind on their own with their friends or whatever, what would you recommend for that?
Well, I just recently started one, right?
Yes.
So I just started one within the last 60 days.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm new at it,
Yeah.
but I've learned a lot of these 60 days, right? And the way I started it, because I live here in Beverly Hills, right? And there's so many talented people in Beverly Hills, right? And in Hollywood, LA and California as a whole, right?
Yeah.
You're successful. There's so many successful and smart people here, right?
Yes.
And rich people. I was like, there's not like a monthly mastermind or a weekly meetup with all these successful people that can network, share ideas, have good guest speakers, learn things. There's none. I've lived in this house for over 10 years, and there's no monthly mastermind that I go to. There's not one locally. I have to go travel to Miami for one, or to New York. Once every blue moon, there's one in LA. Maybe once a year, There's not something frequent, right? I'm like, LA's missing that, right?
Yes.
So I knew there was a hole in the market, and I called two of my buddies, Chad and Fabian, that have a good network of connections. They've done like conferences before, and they've done these types of things. So I'm like, I know like you said, you want to find people that have experience in something, right? So I go, they already have experienced it. They have a good network. I'm like, I have the location. I've done a lot of speeches in my day. So I'm like, let's do it. I called them up. I go, I want to start doing this. They're like, they were on board. Boom, 30 days later, we had our first one, which was last month in December.
Yes.
We had about close to 100 people show up.
Amazing.
So a ton of people showed up. Everyone got value. People networked. People were thanking me for weeks, going, David, I landed 2 clients from it. David, I got someone that might invest in my business now. I mean, just all these different things are happening. People got clients. People got leads. One of my buddy, Ben Bacall, was one of the speakers who's a monster. This guy's done $4 billion in sales with a B.
Yeah.
My buddy, Julio, is now doing business with him. He's all, David, because of your event, like, it might change my life. Yeah. I'm like, I might change this guy's life, right? So, and other people go, I have another guy, I got different clients for different industries. So it's like crazy the amount of stories and people telling me deals, how they learn things from the speakers. It's like, that makes me feel amazing. I mean, that tells me it's working.
Yes.
Because that was the whole purpose of it, right? To learn and to network.
Make those connections.
And then the next one, you guys, is Wednesday, January 24th.
Yeah.
That's my promotion.
Yes.
But it's good because you learn from these events, you network, and that's how I put it on. And now this next one is even going to be better, right? Because you learn from your mistakes, right?
Yeah.
What did we do wrong on this one? How the audio wasn't as good, so we're going to make the audio better. The camera angles could have been better, like all these different things. Oh, the catering staff, I could have hired this person differently. Oh, the valet service, right? All the different things that you put on when you put on an event, you learn from your mistakes. And now this next one, it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be even better, right? So David's having these on a monthly basis. If this doesn't air by January 24th, just know that on his page, he'll have his link tree where he can find these growth talks here in LA. So if you want to attend one, they could just go to your profile, go to the link tree and find you there. Is that correct?
100%.
Excellent.
And also in these networking events, guess what else happened? I had a guy meet a girl, and now they're dating, and they might get engaged.
What?
I create love connections.
I'm going to have to go. Hey, I'm single. I got to go to one of these events. Maybe David can hook me up with somebody.
See, the growth talks, you guys, it creates love connections, business relationships, and you learn things. I call that a win-win-win.
Win-win. Yeah, you're hanging out with like-minded people.
Exactly.
So, super important. So last but not least, just some general basic business advice for an upcoming aspiring entrepreneur. What would you tell them?
I would say most important thing, number one, is to learn a skill and become really freaking good at it, right?
Yeah.
So whatever it is, whatever product or service you want to sell, become really good at that one skill. Research it, go on YouTube, go on TikTok, take courses on it, get good at that one skill, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone's different, right? If you want to be a carpenter, if you want to be an electrician, if you want to be an online marketer, if you want to be a video editor, right? Just get really good at that skill because that's the business or service you want to sell, right? So that's number one.
Yes.
Study that skill, get good at it, right? And then after you get good at it, apply it, right? The best way to learn is by actually doing. So after you're done studying, getting better, do it, right?
Apply what you learn.
Apply what you learn, right? And then after that, like what I always tell you guys, after you apply what you learn, you got to learn about marketing.
Yes.
Right? That's the most important thing in business. So you got to get on social media, all the different platforms, and you got to learn how to market. Because at the end of the day, you could be a great video editor, you could be a great carpenter, a great electrician, great whatever, but if no one knows who the hell you are, it doesn't really matter, right?
Not going to do business with you.
Yeah. So those are kind of my lessons. Get good at a skill, practice it, implement it, learn about marketing, get on social media, and guess what? One thing I'm going to tell young entrepreneurs, you're going to fail. And you're going to fail and fail and fail until you learn and learn and learn, and then you're going to start making money. Don't plan on making money the first month, first 3 months, first 6 months. Probably not going to make money for 12 months because that whole first 12 months is just learning, right?
And test and trial.
And guess what? Go live at home. Go have 8 roommates, right? So your rent is like freaking $100 a month, right?
Yeah.
Don't get people are dumb because they live outside their means. Oh, I have a $3,000 a month rent, and then they have a $2,000 a month car payment, and of course you're never going to succeed because 90% of your expenses are your luxury lifestyle, right? Save some money, get 20 roommates, live in a freaking cardboard box, go live in with your grandma or your parents, right? Save your damn money and learn when you're young, right?
Yes.
Learn, and then guess what? If you fail, you live at home. Who cares, right?
True.
Or you live with your grandma, your aunt, your uncle, right?
Definitely.
So that's what I tell people. Young people, take chances, right?
Yeah.
That's the time you can, right? You don't have any kids, you're not married, you don't have, property insurance, property taxes, mortgage, you don't have all these liabilities, right?
Yeah.
That's the time, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, right?
Indeed.
And I tell every young person, fail. And learn to love to fail.
Excellent. So, guys, you guys got to just invest in yourself, especially when you don't have too many responsibilities. Take that money, take all the energy you have and invest it into your business, yourself, educate yourself, get good at that one thing. Now, I see a huge problem right now. Like you said, go live with your grandma, your mom. A lot of people that are like up and coming, they already do, but I just feel like they're so comfortable. So how can you learn to be comfortable getting uncomfortable so that you can actually have pressure. I like to call it pressure. Pressure on yourself to move and get going.
Great question about that, because unfortunately, there's people that will never get uncomfortable, right? They're just lazy, right?
Yeah.
So the people that do have potential, right?
Yes.
And there's a lot of you, right? And if you are comfortable, you got to learn to become uncomfortable. And the best way to do that, Albert Preciado is a good example. You know what he does? He goes and buys a car he can't afford. Right? He goes, I'm going to go spend $400,000 on a Ferrari when he's probably in his when he was 30 or in his 20s. And he goes, I'm going to have to find out how to make that freaking payment, right?
Yeah.
That's what he did, right? He's like,
Yeah.
he bought something expensive. He goes, I need to make it work, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes for some people, for him, it took that, right?
Yes.
Go buy something you can't afford. Go buy a house that you can't really afford and go, shit, I got to make the mortgage payment. I got to make money. And you're forced to hustle and grind. That's one way, right?
Okay.
Another way would be you got to learn to fail, right? And that's what people don't understand. If you learn that failing is a part of normal life, then you're going to be okay, right? The main reason why people don't succeed and they're scared to get uncomfortable, because they're scared of what their mom, dad, and their friends are going to think.
Yeah.
That's the number one reason, you guys. People are scared of what other people are going to think. If I go try this business and I fail, everyone's going to laugh at me, right? Guess what, you guys? None of us give a shit if you fail. Right now, if you're hearing business right now, if you do great tomorrow or you fail, do you think I really give a shit?
Nobody really cares, to be honest.
You know, your friends don't care.
Yeah.
We're friends now. I honestly don't care.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, it's true.
Like if my business fails tomorrow, are you really going to care?
I'll try to help you out, but I don't really care.
Yeah, you really don't care, right?
Well,
this is real talk here, right?
Yes.
He's my friend. I honestly don't care. I'm going to go, hey, man, go figure it out. So, in other words, you guys, don't be scared to fail. Your parents, your friends, none of us really care if you fail. So don't be embarrassed to get uncomfortable, try something and fail, because if you fall flat on your face, none of us give a crap anyways.
True. I mean, especially
You know?
if you don't have anything, you have nothing to lose.
Yeah, so that's the number one problem. Just don't be scared to fail, and that's what's going to make you learn to be uncomfortable.
Definitely.
Right? It's like any new venture I get into. I'm planning on starting. I invested in a sports apparel line, right? I'm an investor in that. I'm running it. I had no clue if it was going to make any money. The company was losing money. I go, I'm going to invest, right?
Yeah.
And now that company is a 7-figure. It doesn't do 8 figures yet because I just started investing. But it was a company that was losing money, and now it's doing over 7 figures, making over $1 million a year, right?
That's good.
And it's something that was losing money, and I've only been investing like for a short period of time.
Yeah, because you saw the opportunity.
I saw the opportunity, but I was like, I could have failed. It was a dying business, but I was like, I think with my skill set, I can make that work.
Yeah.
And I gave it a shot, and now that's a 7-figure business now. It's another one in my portfolio, right?
Definitely.
And I've never owned a sports apparel line. I've never done that before, right? So something I've never done, and I, cool, another $1 million business I have. Great.
Excellent.
You know? So that's the lesson is, you guys, don't be scared to fail. And you could do the Albert Preciado way, buy something you can't afford, and frickin' figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, crazy story. Me too. That's what I did a couple years back. I bought a Range Rover, and now this is something I can't really afford, but it pushed me. It gave me that pressure, and I just made it work. I calculated the numbers. All right, this is my payment. This is how many more sales I'm gonna have to do, and it pushed me, right? So that works for some people, not everybody, but find something that excites you and that drives you, right?
100%.
So David, well, I have you here. So I just wanted to ask you for some advice. I have my hearing aid dispensing business. Right now I got 2 offices here in Los Angeles, one in South LA, one in Montebello. And it's kind of like a brick and mortar, right? Because in order to sell hearing aids, you have to be a licensed dispenser with the state of California. So I kind of have to be there, right? But I'm at the point where, my company, I have 4 employees. We're doing over 7 figures. Now, what would you recommend? In what direction should I shift? Should I focus now on building the systems and processes, operations? Or, my marketing is doing pretty okay. We do Facebook ads, Instagram ads, social media marketing. But where would you say I should keep focusing more? I don't know if that's a pretty good detailed question, or you need more information?
No, that's good. I'll probably ask you some questions, but
Yeah.
So you got a hearing aid business. You say you're running ads.
Yes.
So number one, do you have the capacity to handle more sales?
More sales, yes.
You do. Okay. So then you want to focus on sales, because that means processes aren't a problem, right?
Yes.
If you have capacity to handle more sales, that means you can handle more volume, right?
Okay.
So I would focus on marketing, number one. You want to turn that 7-figure business into an 8-figure business, right?
Correct.
So you really need to nail down what it costs you to acquire a customer. And hearing aids, obviously, it's an older demographic, you guys, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to want to advertise a lot on Facebook because there's older demos.
Yes.
And on Facebook, you could target different age demographics, right?
Yes.
So you definitely want to do that, right? And you probably want to target maybe their kids, right?
Yes.
Because their kids will probably buy for their parents. My parents are older,
Yeah.
and I support my family, right?
Yes.
My parents live in one of my properties in Burbank. I have doctors that take care of them. My parents don't deal with any of that. So if you were to market to me,
Yes.
and I know my dad has hearing problems, I would probably buy your product or service, right?
Yes.
So you want to market to the kids, because the older seniors aren't really on the internet that much.
Social media.
Right? They're really not on social media. So you really got to focus on marketing to the kids, right? And
Okay.
what I would do you guys, know what telemedicine is?
Not really, but
Okay. So
let's know.
telemedicine was huge during COVID, right?
Yeah.
People didn't go see the doctors because they didn't want to freaking get COVID, right?
Yes.
All the doctors were all these sick patients. So that's when telemedicine blew up, right?
Yeah.
So rather than going to see your doctor in person,
Yeah.
you have a call with them over the phone. That's called telemedicine.
Yes.
Right? So you could probably prescribe these hearing aids over the phone, and they wouldn't have to come to your 2 locations. That means you could expand nationwide overnight. Now you could be in 50 states rather than one town with 2 locations, right?
Yeah.
Now your business could scale 50x. So
Yeah.
now you're in 50 states around the nation through telemedicine. Because I have clients that sell telemedicine stuff, and they're prescribed by a doctor, and you don't need locations.
Yeah.
You sell to the son or the daughter, and they ship it to the parent.
True,
right?
true. So the problem I have with that is, I need to have a patient's audiogram, which is a hearing test, right? So that's why they come to my office, so that I can do a in-depth.
Can you
hearing
send them a
test.
sample, and then you can send it back? Can you send them a sample hearing test? They do a hearing test, and they send you back the recording, or can it be done? Can it be done? Can they individually do it and then send it to you back?
Virtually, you mean? Or
Virtually, it could be virtually, or you send them a piece of device.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but if you could send them something, they could do the test and
Right.
send it back to you.
Yeah.
The hearing test, or if you could do it virtually,
yeah,
over a visual consultation over the online.
So my
I don't know
So my website offers a hearing screening. So you can go to my website, put on some headphones, over the ear headphones, and you have to be in a quiet room, and so then it'll kind of screen your hearing. It'll present the tones.
Okay.
You go through the process of each frequency, the levels. When you hear it, you click a certain button and do your own screening. So to a certain extent, it's just a screening. Now, there's a lot of laws and regulations to that. When you're fitting a patient, they need to be cleared for hearing aids. So sometimes, depending on the hearing loss, they need to go see an ENT doctor to get medically cleared for hearing aids. So
Got it.
there might be a couple hurdles there. But my focus right now would be improving my marketing. So
Okay.
right now, I've hired a few independent contractors to come help me with the Facebook ads and this and that. But I think my trouble is finding out where my clients are coming from. Did they convert? So would you recommend I get somebody in-house, hire somebody to come in-house?
So, yeah, great question. So I think you got to, first, I suggest that's good that you're using an online marketing company. You should definitely do that first, because you're going to learn from them, right?
Yeah.
So use that third-party company. Make sure you're using a good one. I don't know who you're using.
Yeah.
But make sure they're a reputable company, and they're giving you stats, and you have someone that you could communicate with on their team. Because you want to pick their brain and learn as much as you can, right?
Yeah.
The whole goal is then you bring a person in-house, right? Because that's going to bring your costs way down.
Okay.
But you need to learn.
Yeah.
And what if you hire some guy who doesn't know what the hell he's doing, right? So you want to have it's like anything in life, right? I can't teach someone to do customer service if I don't know customer service, right? I can't teach someone to sell if I don't know how to sell, right?
Yeah.
See, and you're the business owner. Marketing is such an important part of the business. If it's not you, it's got to be like your right-hand person or your left-hand person that could learn this, learn from this agency, and then once you learn, then you could bring it in-house. Don't ever bring it in-house until you learn.
Yeah, because then you're going to waste time and energy, money.
You're going to lose a lot of money.
Training them and all this and that.
You're going to lose a ton of money. So yeah, doing it through the agency route is always the first way to go, right? And you're going to learn from them. You're going to learn what they do, what they don't do. So then you're not spending all your money learning. And now after you've learned the secret sauce, you're like, okay, I know what ad works. I know which one's making the sales. I know where they're advertising. I know their target demographic. I'm like, okay, why am I paying all this money now? I know what they're doing. I've learned. I could bring a guy to do that, right? Yeah. So that's how you should do it. Another example I'll share with you. When I was running my supplement offer, I was this product called Fort Max. It was a diet product in Brazil, right?
Yes.
We were one of the first supplement companies that did crazy numbers in Brazil. And it's crazy because we were doing about $10 million a month in Brazil. Like crazy numbers, like unheard of marketing supplement numbers, right? And guess what? We didn't have the supply because we didn't know we were going to scale that much, right?
Yeah.
So like we were pretty much selling products that we didn't even have.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, so this was a scary time, right? Because we have all this money coming because you get a little greedy, right? The sales are coming in, but you don't have the product, right? So we were doing everything. We were calling every manufacturer on the planet, like, get us product, get us product. I mean, I and my team, we were going to warehouses and putting labels on bottles. It was like crazy because the numbers were so big, but it was, what I've learned in this, you guys, is you could be the owner, you could be the CEO. I was wrapping labels with bottles because we were doing so many. I mean, so my whole story to this is like, it doesn't matter if you're the owner, if you're an accountant, you got to get your hands dirty too, right?
Yeah.
And you know, another example is my ShrubHub business. We were scaling so much. Guess what? I was doing email customer support.
Okay.
At night because we were doing so much volume. So you can't be scared to get your hands dirty in business, you guys, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you're going to do the work that you have a team to do, but you're growing so fast that you have to do the data entry, email support, and then, like you said, you got to put processes in place, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to do the ugly work too.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, you know, if you're a gardener, sometimes you got to pick up the shit, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
You're the owner of the company, and you're a gardener, and you're picking up crap, right?
Yeah.
And that's just life. So don't be scared to do the grunt work sometimes, the dirty work. And in any business, you got to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just a lesson I want to make sure. Don't be too good to do things.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. Even when I first started my business, I mean, as a CEO, you're always going to have multiple hats.
Yeah.
But I remember I rented this little 12 by 12 room, and man, I was like, man, how are patients going to trust me here? Like, I have my license and everything, but I'm checking them in. I'm bringing them in. I'm asking them all these questions. I'm like, here, fill out these patient intake forms. And then I'm like, come on in, you can have a seat here. I'm like doing everything, right?
Yeah.
I'm reception, I'm the specialist.
Yeah.
I'm doing the hearing test, I'm fitting the patient, and I'm just like, man, I don't even know. I wouldn't even trust myself in here, but, you know, just keep providing a good service and good product, and you'll do well.
Yeah. No, you nailed it. You were the receptionist.
Yeah.
You were the plumber. You were the electrician. You were the person that, you know, did the work, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what people don't get. Like, you need to, sometimes you got to do the dirty work, you know? Guess what? The mastermind growth talks.
Yes.
Who do you think set up some of the stuff here, right? We were running out of time, and my guys weren't here. And I was like, this event's going to be like in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And my guys were late because it was raining that day.
Yeah.
And people were late. I'm like setting up stuff, you know? Yeah. And it's my event. But, you know, that's the thing, right? You got to do the dirty work. And in business, just remember that. Like, don't ever be too good to do the dirty work.
Yeah. For someone who wants to start building a sales team, how would you go about that? How would you go about hiring them and making sure you find the correct candidates for it?
Sales, it's funny. Like some positions that are key positions in the company, I interview, right? Yes. And there's some roles that I don't, obviously, right? But sales is one of those positions because that position makes me money.
Yes, super important.
So guess what? On that one, I get my team, my HR department, they pre-qualify the candidates, make sure they're good, have the specifications I want. but I'm the final person that interviews them.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because, like I said, they make me money, right?
Super
I don't want to pay a sales guy that doesn't make me money.
Yeah.
So I always, when I interview these people, right, I always make sure I let them talk because I just want them to talk, right? I want them to talk most of the time. I'm going to ask them questions, and I ask them like, a quick question and see how witty they are and how good they are at sales and how good their communication skills are, right?
Yes.
So you just ask them, just quick little sales tip questions and see how they perform. And then another thing I do, I tell my HR, I go to their Instagram account, go to their social media account. I want to see I want to see their background.
What if they're private and they don't want to show their thing off? You're like automatically disqualified. Or what do you think?
I try to get someone to follow them.
Okay.
Right? So I always want to try to find out because I want to know who the hell I'm hiring.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very good tip, you guys. When you're hiring people, salespeople especially, you want to know what this person does, right? Because they represent you, right? They're selling your product or service,
Correct.
right? It's not like a tech guy that's behind a computer that no one ever meets, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter if this guy has a crazy background, right? It's the salespeople that represent your company, right? So being creative on the interviews, going to their social media profiles.
Yeah.
You guys probably don't like that, but we do it. And then after that, after you get them on board, is hiring a sales trainer, right? And it comes back to processes in place. I have metrics on everything, right? I track refund ratios, leads, how many leads they get, what their conversion ratio is, what their upsell ratio, how much revenue they do, what's their commission. I have processes and commission reports on reporting on everything, right?
Yeah.
So I know if numbers tell you everything, right?
Yes.
That's how you know if they're good. And then my sales trainer has to be good, right? Because that's such an important position in my company, I personally train 20 of my sales guys every 2 weeks, twice a month.
Twice a month, yes.
And I mean, I should do it more, but I have my other sales trainers, and I'm the owner, and I still spend the time because those 20 salespeople make me a lot of money.
Okay.
And I want them to hear from the owner, right? Because
Definitely.
I have some nuggets that I could provide, right? The sales trainer is good. He gives them his perspective, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
You want other people's perspectives, right? The way I sell and the way this other guy sell is a little different. I have a different style, right? I have a different technique, right? Compared to him.
Yeah.
Maybe his technique's better for you,
Yeah.
and for my other salesperson, my technique's better for them because everyone has a different personality, right?
Correct.
So, I don't know, I just think sales teams, you got to have a good sales manager, you got to hire right, right?
Yes.
And besides hiring right, you guys, you got to fire quickly.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't do. They keep someone on when you should have fired them a long frickin' time ago.
True.
And that's another lesson you should learn is I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but I've made many mistakes where I've kept people on for too long.
Yeah.
You need to freaking cut them loose.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm barely building up my team. I got 4 employees, so I haven't scaled that much. But
Yeah.
also another question, when you're hiring a salesperson, how do you value them? Or do you set a base salary with commissions? Or what's the best way to do that?
So I'm a firm believer in a low base and a good commission structure.
Yeah.
Why? Because I want them to be incentivized, right?
Correct.
Just so you guys know, I didn't even incentivize my customer service agents. I pay them a small little commission, but my customer service agents do a much better job.
Yeah.
When I was just paying them a base salary and even though it's their job to salvage sales, upsell customers, cross-sell them, right? That's part of their role.
Yeah.
Once I started paying them a little commission, wow, it was funny how sales went up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wow, how all my customer service agents became great salespeople all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
But when I didn't pay them any commission, they never made me a freaking sale,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
you got to incentivize people, right? And if you give them a fat base and a low commission,
Yeah.
it gets back to being comfortable.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I got my nice base. Like,
They're like, I can live with that.
I can live with.
I want to try more.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you pay them a little base, and it's practically starving money, they can't even live off this money. Like you make it so little work, like they need to make commission to survive.
Yes.
Then they're going to do much better for you,
True.
right?
True.
And that's how I structure my teams. Hey, and if you don't like it, guess what? Don't work for me.
True.
I'll find somebody else because
True.
I'm a sales guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm an entrepreneur. Everyone here is an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not hungry to make sales, I don't want you on my team.
True. You got to filter those people out, right?
Right?
'Cause-
I want someone to go, David, I get to work next to you. Fuck, you're a genius and a mentor, make tons of money. Like, I'll work for you for free. Just pay me commission when I close the deal. I'll be like, done.
Done deal.
That's the kind of people I want, right?
Yeah.
You don't want the guy that wants a huge base and it's, just pay me, 1%. I'm like,
Yeah.
not who I want. So that's the way I run my businesses and my teams and my sales forces, and it's been very successful for me.
Do you have any experience in flipping? You didn't really
I mean,
do that?
I've flipped. I usually buy and hold,
Buy
so
and
that would be more you.
Now, is there a specific area that you buy in, good areas to appreciate, or?
I think real estate's all about location.
Yeah.
Location, right? So if you buy in a good location, you can never go wrong. You do flipping, right? But you do them quick, so you're just looking for a good deal and flip.
Yeah.
But location, you can never go wrong because it's always going to appreciate in value. But I think real estate is all about cash flow. You want to buy a property that cash flows because if the market stays flat for 5 years,
Yeah.
you're still cash flowing. And
True.
if your property is just based on appreciation and the market stays flat, you're screwed. You're losing money every year.
Okay.
So I think in real estate, you always want to do cash flow number one. Second is appreciation. But you always want something that's making money when the market's flat.
Yeah, because this, like, for example, this weekend I went to WealthCon in Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know Thatch Nguyen? He's big in real estate.
Thatch Nguyen. Maybe if I see him.
I'll show you his profile, but he was basically saying that if you buy in bad areas, it's good for rent.
Correct.
And then if you buy in good areas, it's good for appreciation. So he's kind of telling us to buy in good areas because over the years, your appreciation is just going to make you a lot more money. But, in your experience, you like to kind of in between.
I'm a blender.
In
So
between.
I'm like Burbank. I own properties, right? Where I'll still get appreciation, but it's not high end.
Yeah.
But I get good rents.
True.
Because people want to live close to LA and all the workforce is around here, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's real estate. The best thing about real estate is hold on. You got to hold the real estate.
Yeah, like I have a triplex in Phoenix, right? It's not in the best area, but it's close to downtown, close to Sky Harbor Airport. And I don't really see it appreciating too much, but the rents, they're pretty good. But what would you suggest should I hold on to that property?
So
if it's cash flowing?
If it's cash flowing, keep it.
Yeah.
Right? If it's not cash flowing and it doesn't have good potential for appreciation, dump it and find a better investment. Right? That's the way I look. Like if you have like some of the properties I sold, it was a good time to sell, but I think real estate is always better to hold than to dump.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you just have some crazy, you need the money, right? You do flips when you need that money to get a better investment, right?
True.
But if you already have money, hold on to it if it's cash flowing, right?
True.
There's no reason hey, it's cash flowing. You got to take advantage of the tax deductions, right?
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the real estate I own, it's for the tax benefits, the depreciation, writing off, property taxes and mortgage interest and all the expenses. And, you could get creative with real estate expenses, right? Okay. So if it's cash flowing, no reason to dump it.
Is there a certain percentage you should be cash flowing on a property that you know of?
I just kind of I look at both things. I look at cash flow and I look at what do I see this property to be worth in 10 years? And if I think it's going to go up pretty decent, then I would, I'm not going to keep it. If I'm cash flowing a couple $100 a month, that's I don't even consider that cash flowing.
Yeah.
Right? It's got to cash flow a decent amount of money.
For example, my apartments, my mortgage is $2,700 and it's cash flowing, let's see, it's $4,800 total. So I'm cash flowing like, man, I suck at math, but it's like $2,300 a month.
2,200.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
It's pretty
Yeah.
decent,
And
right?
what's your property tax at the end of the year?
I'd have to check with my accountant.
Okay.
I don't know too much, but
yeah. And then
calculate that with
yeah,
that.
you got to obviously calculate the numbers, right?
Yeah.
All your expenses, vacancy rate, and if you're still making over $1,000 a month after all your expenses, that's good. It's
not too bad.
That's a $12,000 a year net profit, and you get all the expenses that you get to write off.
True.
It's good. Keep
Okay.
it. Guess what? You get 10 of those. It's $120,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right? It's good for your retirement. It's good down the road. And that's what people don't understand. because you're an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
You need to diversify.
Yes.
You know, just so you guys know, besides owning all these companies, one of the main reasons I own all these companies is for diversification.
Yeah.
So if my supplement business goes to crap one year or doesn't do good, I have my fulfillment business. My fulfillment business isn't good, I have my call center business. If my real estate business isn't good, I have that cannabis business, right? I have that clothing apparel business, right? So to me, businesses and real estate is an investment tool, right?
Yeah.
And it's a diversification tool. And I have a lot of money in the stock market. Why? Because it's a diversification tool. I
Yes.
get dividend income every year, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have my stocks in all these, hey, I hope it goes to $1 million, right? I have stocks that just earn me an 8 to 10% dividend every year, and I just get that every year. It's better than putting your bank where you earn, now it's good, bank savings, you earn like 4% now, but before, they used to pay 1% or nothing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So now, all my dividend investments make me 8%,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
So you got to just put your money in different things so you're protected. When there's a doomsday, it's not all in one thing.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. Now that you're saying about the whole protection thing, that brings me up. I have another question now.
Okay.
But you know, we met at Driven. We were having lunch, I believe, and you mentioned it's important to structure your businesses correctly. Can you give us a little idea? Because I think you said you've done it already. Just give us a
Yep.
brief idea of what that looks like. I know you mentioned like trust, holding company,
Great
assets.
question. Okay, so you're going to want asset protection if you make money,
Yes.
right? You never want to have any business, your cars, right? Especially your cars, your business, your cars, your homes. Never own it individually, right? Always own it under an LLC, right? And then have a holding company above that LLC that owns that property, right? So let's say you own one of your real estate properties, let's say in Burbank, right?
Yes.
That's under an LLC. Then you have another LLC holding company that owns that LLC,
Yeah.
right? And then on top of that, you have a trust that owns the holding company,
Yeah.
right? That way you've created a layer of protection, right? So now if a creditor, someone tries to sue you one day, they can't go after you individually. You got layers of protection, and you got LLC's protection, and then you have a trust that's not in your name that owns all the entities. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this way you have asset protection, and if a creditor ever tries to go after you, you don't own it. It's the LLC, and the trust owns it. Your name's not on anything. If you have your car in an LLC, you drive and you kill somebody. Something happens in your car. You crash into somebody, right? These are things you want to protect yourself, right?
Yeah.
So the more things you could have asset protection-wise with LLCs and the trust, the safer you're going to be.
Okay.
On paper, you guys, I'm broke,
Yeah.
but I control everything.
I
But
see.
on paper, I barely make any money. Go look at Mark Zuckerberg. Look at Elon Musk. Look at who was the ex-owner of Amazon?
Bezos.
Bezos.
Jeff Bezos.
You know how much he paid himself per year? I think he paid himself $1 a month or something like that. It was something stupid. One of the richest men in the world.
Yeah.
His salary was like $1 a month or something stupid like that, right?
Yeah. It's
So
crazy.
Because guess what? They don't put things in their name.
That's true. You know,
Right.
my CPA is always telling me your salary isn't enough for what you make. You need to be paying yourself more. It's like I'm hiring the IRS.
Yes.
But it's about getting educated and working with the correct people, right?
Mentors.
Mentors.
Where you need a good tax person. You need a good CPA. Don't ever, you guys, go cheap. If you make money, don't ever go cheap on a CPA or a tax attorney, right?
Okay.
Because they're going to save you millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So paying their little fee is worth it.
yeah. Like there was a guy that said, it's not what your CPA charges you, it's what they charge you plus your tax bill.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I call it your tax savings, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the year, it was funny. I watched a video on Grant Cardone, and he's so right. He's all the money you make, you want to just invest it, right? Invest it in real estate. He buys planes and helicopters, right? Or buys other real estate, right?
Yeah.
I buy real estate, or I put it in tax-deferred vehicles like investments, right? So it lowers my taxable income at the end of the year, so I'm not paying much in taxes, right?
Yeah.
If I brought all the money to my personal, I'd be broke right now. I wouldn't have this $50 million home, right? I would be, I wouldn't be able to afford it if I paid crazy amount of taxes. Yeah. But you got to like invest your money so you don't pay crazy amount of taxes. Make your money work for you.
Definitely. So make those connections, guys. You got to meet good CPAs, lawyers, and all this good stuff. And you do it by networking. The better the networking event, the better, higher caliber people you're going to meet, right?
100%. 100%.
All right. Well, thank you again, David. I appreciate you, letting us into your house, coming on the podcast. Now tell the audience, where they can find you, find your growth talks. That's on a monthly basis, all that good stuff.
You can find me right here in my green chair.
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
I'm joking. No, you can find me on the David Rivero on Instagram. I think that's my TikTok and my YouTube channel. You guys, I am a social media slut. Just call me. I don't want to say the word, but you know the word. Oh. I'm on every platform, you guys. You could find me everywhere. If you can't find me, it's because you're not looking. I'm everywhere. LinkedIn, you name it. YouTube, TikTok, the David Rivero. I want to thank you for having me. I think it was a great conversation. We covered a lot of points.
Yes.
And you guys, the Growth Talks is a mentorship and networking event once a month in Beverly Hills. You could go to thegrowthtalks.com, and there's tickets every month. It's very affordable. One contact can make you millions. And you might learn something from one of these amazing speakers that talks. So I highly suggest you go to those if you live in the area, right? If you're anywhere in LA or in California. And if you're not, freaking book a flight and freaking come for the event. You'll meet a lot of people. It's worth it.
Definitely worth it. You guys got to make those connections. Give this guy a follow. Again, David, thank you so much. Appreciate your time having us here. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode of Making Feria.